What's up, ladies and gents? I'm your host, Inferno1, and welcome to my Inferno speedrun walkthrough for Resident Evil 3. We're also going to be unlocking the Platinum on this one as well. I've done all the live streams to get up to this point, and now we're going to just be kind of doing a little walkthrough for how to get Inferno, S ranking, and finish the rest of the trophies and receive the Platinum. Now, for those of you wondering, this is my first true speedrun walkthrough, so I hope you guys enjoy this, and don't forget to leave me a like, because it really motivates me to continue to do more videos and stuff like this, as I want to bring videos back to the forefront to give you guys good quality and all that good stuff that you expect on this channel. And of course, you're not subscribed, make sure you click that subscribe button and notification bell to be aware of when we go live and do our Platinum runs and figure things out, as well as when new videos come out. So we're going to be skipping all the cutscenes. If you do want to watch a complete normal kind of walkthrough, I have a bunch of different walkthroughs of this out, as well as live streams of the game to check out the story mode itself. So there's a few things that I want to make a note to all of you. We are going to be using the Infinite Rocket Launcher. This is my first foray into speedrunning, and because of that, I want to make sure that we kind of get our feet wet a little bit, and give it a try and try to do the best that I can while still kind of just getting into the genre of speedrunning. So I do want to continue to do more of these and to get better at them, but we are going to use the Infinite Rocket Launcher. We've played a lot of this game at this point, and I know for sure that I could complete this on Inferno without it, but I do want to make sure that we just get our feet wet a little bit and kind of ease into this whole new genre that we're trying to create for ourselves here. So the intros, just always skip the cutscenes. Just keep constantly pressing start, essentially, and then if you know that you can skip it, then the game will pause. If you know that you can't skip it, then it won't, because that means it's part of an in-game cutscene that cannot be skipped. Always be moving forward during these first sections. They're pretty easy to get by. They never change. You don't have any of your weapons or any helpful things with you at this point, so just continue to move forward. This is one of those cutscenes that you can skip. And of course, I will say a little bit more about this channel if you're new to it. We do walkthroughs and guides. We also do Platinums on this channel. We usually do a lot of live streams when we're going over our Platinums per se. So if you do like kind of 100% Achievement Hunters, Platinums, those kind of things, then this is the channel for you. And of course, thank you guys and gals for all being here. I am a retired U.S. Army musician. I did the Army for about 21 years, retired, and now I get the pleasure of doing walkthroughs and these kind of things and show off the beauty of gaming on this channel, which I have now had for over 14 years at this point, which is kind of long, can't believe it. Here, you just want to make sure that you continually run and don't stop. They can hit you there. Since this is Inferno, if all of you, let's say, have been playing a lot of hardcore mode or before, like normal, standard, that kind of thing, then the enemies are going to be in different locations. So keep in mind that as well. There is a few differences between my other playthroughs that I've done and this one in particular. For instance, this enemy right here on the left is not there during a normal run up to hardcore. So you will have to dodge him. Get good at dodging. Dodging is done with the R1 or the RB, I guess it's called on Xbox, yeah.
Hey, come on. There's a helicopter waiting to take you to safety.
You'll usually know if you've done a perfect dodge if the game kind of slows down, and then at that point you can aim at an enemy and it'll continue to slow down and get in a headshot or something like that. But you're not really going for headshots if you're trying to get a speed run here while using the Infinite Rocket Launcher, because we're not going to be using any weapons outside of the rocket launcher. There's an instance of a dodge needing to be done right here once you skip this cutscene. You can work your way around it without dodging, but just use this opportunity to get better. As soon as you think he's about to land a hit, that's when you want to do it, and you'll get that little flash to know you've done it perfectly. There's also items that you can use to help you do perfect dodge even more, but if you're even attempting this on Inferno, my guess is either you've bought the DLC or you've went ahead and played this game a few times and should be aware of, at this point, how to dodge.
Start, damn it!
You can fail some of these quick times here if you're not quick enough, of course. You can't just hold down the R2 whenever you're ready. You need to make sure you hit it as soon as it appears on. You can die here, so This next section here, if you want it to be a little bit quicker, do not move, just stand still. If you try to scoot back a little bit, then it'll take a little longer for the nemesis to get to you. Now, I'm not perfect when it comes to skipping cutscenes and things like that. It's sometimes my mind takes me a second as I'm trying to process. As I get used to it, I'll get better and better. I plan on doing some Metal Gear Solid Delta speedruns, of course, coming up whenever that game does come out, and some of the other Resident Evil games. When I go through the Platinum series on those games, I will be also attempting speedruns on that as well.
No thanks. He's all yours.
If you would like to see a no commentary version of this on this channel, then please let me know in the comments below, and I will be more than happy to provide you all with a no commentary version of this. For those of you that do not like commentary and just want to be shown what to do as opposed to be told and shown what to do.
You don't have to trust me, but I'm going to the shelter. You coming?
There's no way to get him to go faster, so you might as well wait for him to just stand right there, and then once he opens that door, you're able to move through. He's scripted to go ahead of you. As you'll see, he just runs so much faster than you, so... Now the true game is about to begin.
Okay, first things first.
Alright, so as we exit out of here, we're going to head up to this tunnel and head outside. Since we are using a kind of a helpful Inferno run on this, as opposed to using just the normal in-game items, you should be able to pick up some of the items that you might have collected over your journeys past through the game, and unlock those in the bonus shop. You can actually skip radio conversations as well. So I'll skip all radio conversations too to make things a little bit quicker. As you can see here, we can pick up an RPD 2 pouch right there. We have essentially everything unlocked to us. And we're going to go in here and grab all of these. So what I like to use is, because this is one of my first speedruns ever that I've done on the channel, you also want to make sure that you have your assault coins with you. Assault coins are going to allow you to be, and you buy these from the shop. The shop is where you can spend all the points you get when you do your other playthroughs of the game. Unless you've bought the DLC, then you can literally come straight to this and you'll have all of this unlocked for you already, and you can just rinse and repeat what I do. But essentially you want to make sure that you grab a few assault coins, because the assault coins are really going to help you get more damage with the rocket launcher to make sure that enemies really do go down in one hit. Some enemies don't actually go down in one hit. Maybe you're doing splash damage. Also remember that you really can't take damage from a rocket launcher, so don't be afraid to use a rocket launcher right in front of you. I've done this on so many instances and never have once taken any damage from a rocket launcher. Also, to note, I wanted to get through this trying to do a no damage run, but I just thought it was just too much for my blood to handle, because these games really do actually scare me, believe it or not. So this is not going to be a no damage run. It's going to be essentially a no damage run almost all the way up until the very, very last boss fight, which is one of the hardest things to do even on Inferno with rocket launchers. And you got to get really good at dodging and really good at knowing exactly the final boss fight, what's going to happen in it. That will take you a few times to get through. But for pretty much almost the whole game, we really don't take any damage at all. We're going to head to the right. Here, we're going to go through. Enemies are a little different here. You won't really encounter an enemy that's in this room here like you do normally. The enemy will actually be waiting for you right up here, so go ahead and fire one right there. And then we have some new enemies to take care of that are not normally here during this section, but you can easily do that, of course. Rocket launcher, yes, makes this significantly easier, but the purpose of this video is to not really show you my skills in Resident Evil, because I'm still kind of trying to get used to getting into the Resident Evil series and getting better at it to the point of where I can speedrun it. It's more about showing you how to essentially beat the game while using the rocket launcher and be able to unlock the platinum. We had to do a bunch of playthroughs before this that you can of course check out. My live streams on all of that. We did a few easy runs, or assisted runs is what they call it here. We did a standard run as well, where we did kind of like a speed run for that one as we were going through. And then once you do standard, then you can unlock hardcore. So then we did a hardcore run through, and then I went ahead and actually purchased the $5 add-on, which allows you to unlock Inferno, because you'll need to play through Nightmare in order to unlock Inferno. So I wanted to skip that process since I've already did about 5 or 6 playthroughs of this game. So we just went straight to Inferno, and then I learned essentially where the new enemies were. That's really the only time you're ever going to actually use
Is someone in here?
right here. I mean, essentially, what the game usually does is once you use every single specific use of an item, then it'll allow you to discard it. Otherwise, it won't. So sometimes you'll have to put them back into your item box menu if you don't want it taking up your space, because you can't just discard it whenever you want. You can only discard it whenever you have actually used it for all of its purposes. So this is essentially the same. There's a few extra enemies here, as you can see. You got some of the Crimson Head enemies, or whatever you want to call them. But everything else is essentially the same up to this point, and then of course let's tally how many times I say essentially in this walkthrough. This will take care of all the enemies on the bottom floor, and then shoot one for the top guy. Now, you can also just use your perfect dodge to get by him as well. This is where I do my first save. The reason you want to save here is because you just never know what can happen in this first section here that's a little bit more difficult than what you've seen up to this point. Also, take note that if you have all the items, you can bring with you a lockpick, so you don't have to go over here and grab the lockpick. If you're really trying to save as much time as possible, then that might be one of the best things that you do, because then it just makes it to where you don't have to come over here and spend an extra 10 seconds to grab. Also, make sure you do grab a health item, because you will need to use one health item. If you want to see how I unlocked all the other trophies, like not using your item box and essentially not using any health items, which obviously I would actually unlock that trophy here if I didn't already have it, because you're allowed to use up to just one health item, which is mandatory right here, especially on this difficulty, because you'll be slow as heck and you won't be able to move very fast and you'll die pretty much immediately. So just go ahead and use your herb there, and then you can move. So you're going to have spiders coming through out here all the time. I can't really tell you when they're going to come out. All of this is random. They're infinite. They'll just keep spawning over and over again, and they'll keep coming at you. So you just got to listen to the sounds of your game, and don't be afraid to shoot off a rocket launcher close to you, because if there is an enemy close to you, that rocket launcher will do splash damage enough to take out these enemies, as they don't have a lot of health. If you hear any noises while you're using that machine, immediately stop and turn around and shoot. As you can see, I hear someone right next to me. Doesn't matter if you hit yourself a little bit there either. You won't take any damage from that. You don't really take any damage from, I guess I want to say, splash damage to the electrical outlets in this. So we're still just kind of moving all of our way up. There's really no strategy I can give you. Sometimes they can really kind of sneak up on you there, so you got to be careful. One will come out right there usually. Go over here to the right, and we're going to take the ladder up the stairs and then down, or up the stairs, up the ladder and then down the next ladder. There will be some of them coming out from that hole right there, as well as right in front of you, so go ahead and shoot another one. And if I were you too, I'd probably lay one about right here, because sometimes they just crawl on these ceilings here. Make it very easy for them to hit you. Now that we've done all four, we can head back. This will open up and immediately shoot these two, and you can see there's another one all the way in the back there. Go down just 2 spots and then make your way to the left, and dodge if you need to. As you can see, I would say we got pretty lucky right there. So just know that as soon as you turn that corner, there's going to be a few of them aiming at you, so be ready to dodge, be ready to use your rocket launcher again. It takes about 2 or 3 shots with a pistol if you're not using the rocket launcher, so you can still get through that. Not too difficult, as long as you know where all of them could come from and how to take them out easily. So now we're going to go back through that same area and get to that same location that we picked up the hose. However, we're going to have a nemesis encounter at this point. So the nemesis for this section's a little weird. It's very hard to get a shot on him immediately. You kind of have to back up just a little bit because he comes at you so fast. So back up a little bit, try to get a shot in there as quickly as possible. You can see that one rocket launcher takes him out. And then, of course, you can pick up one of the upgrades that he drops, if you so desire, but there's no need to if you're using your rocket launcher, of course. There are extra enemies through here, as you can see. There's an enemy on the door as well, which you wouldn't normally catch on the easier difficulties.
Carlo!
Once you come up through here, you're going to immediately shoot a rocket at the car. You're going to see about 3 enemies right here. Nemesis usually will always spawn about right here if you've done everything I've done, and you can see we've taken him out again. I usually like to do 2 just to be safe. And at this point, if you get to the next area we're going to quick enough, you won't have to worry about the Nemesis anymore. Otherwise, he will continue to move fast at you and go through areas like this. He can go through it. So just be careful because he can grab you with his tentacles from far away. But once you get inside this door, then you really no longer have to worry about the Nemesis until a scripted part up ahead. This section here is a little puzzle, and you can pretty much see what you need to do. All you're going to need to do FA, RA, and SA, and then it's going to be 2, 3, and 2.
All right, where are we headed?
You just got to follow the path.
We stopped at Redstone Street. We need to reach Fox Park Station. Can you program that in?
Hey, I'm Super Cop. Consider it done.
Valid route confirmed.
Carlos, it's me. I finished inputting the subway.
Chill, you are amazing. Tough as nails, too. Hurry back to the station. We'll make sure the subway's ready to depart.
Once you're done, you're going to head back. There will be a Crimson Head that I call them Crimson Heads. I don't actually know exactly what they're called, but he will always stand up there, so make sure you hit him. There's going to be a bunch of enemies that'll fall from the sky here, so just shoot in between them, and you should be good to go. Now we're going to get to that scripted point that I just told you about. Immediately aim on the ground, but as close to the electric and him as you can. That way you make sure you take him down there. Or you can just aim at him too, but sometimes, you know, you might miss and it'll go right past him and then he gets a good hit on you. Because of the items that we have, if you have any defensive coins on you, then obviously you'll be able to use those defensive coins. So if you do get hit, you will be able to recharge your health a little bit. I'm not sure exactly how they work, as I didn't really use them that much except for this Inferno playthrough. Obviously more enemies will drop down, so just shoot here like I did. Shoot this enemy here, should automatically get the one that's to the right as well. And then you've beaten the first part of the game. Congratulations. And we'll move down through here. If you want to see all those puzzles and things like that, make sure you check out my other videos. This is where you no longer need that, so might as well go ahead and get rid of it to create more space, and you can add whatever other items. You can see you get a lot of items here, and those items just essentially give you more health, allow you to be better defensive as well as offensive, more damage. Immediately shoot at the ground twice, because he's going to be attacking you and coming at you too quick for you to actually like really turn around. So shoot the ground twice right there and you should be good to go. You should be down long enough for you to be able to get through this next section here. Once you're starting this underground sewer area, things will be a little different than your normal playthroughs. Some enemies will be in different spots. You'll actually have a few more enemies than you did previously. You used to only have to worry about those kind of big creatures, but now you'll actually have other enemies in this area as well. And it only really adds it in one section, to be honest, so it's not like it's any more difficult. So what we need to do right now is head for the battery. You don't need to go to the left at all, so just go to the right. This is where some enemies will kind of drop down from you. That's a little different than the first time. The big enemy won't come out where he normally does. It'll be those crimson heads there. He's going to be hiding in this corner here on the right. You can kind of see him there. There'll be another one that's going to come out of here. Again, one shot with the rocket launcher, even if it's not head-on, we'll take those out. Pick up your battery here. Now, going back is going to essentially be the same. There's going to be one creature that's going to come out of the same spot he always does, no matter what difficult you play in, which will be right here. But notice how I really missed the shot. I went too far back and I kind of escaped behind him, so that's why I had to do 2 there. Here, he'll always come up there. That's no matter what difficulty you're on. We can take him out there, and then we can move on over here to the left and use our battery. So with the batteries, you have to always remember to pick your battery back up. Like if you go into, say, some of the extra separate rooms, you can. It doesn't do it automatically, so you kind of got to remember. Once you come up here, you will be attacked. So just get out your rocket launcher, shoot, immediately move to the left, unlock the door. Because you have to pick up your battery. That's why this door is here, essentially. If you wanted to gain some extra pouches, you would be able to move to the right inside the room and use the battery. However, we don't need any extra, so continue to move on, head down this ladder, and then we're going to head through the door, and that is the last time that we will need the battery. I really do enjoy how Resident Evil 3 does its Inferno modes and Nightmare modes, because it gives you a chance to buy things that will help those that, you know, sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get really, really good at certain games if you don't play a lot of that genre. So I really like how they give you these coins and items that you can use. They don't hinder any achievements, they don't hinder any trophies, and they just allow you to really enjoy the game and still be able to feel like you've accomplished something by beating it on the hardest difficulty. Even though you're using something like the infinite rocket launcher, I mean, you can still get a good satisfaction at knowing, hey, I was able to accomplish this. And then if you want even more, then you can go back and do it, of course, without using any of those types of items. Here, you only need to take out that guy right there, because he's the only one that's in your way.
Get out, quick.
And make sure you do take out the 2 guys before you enter this building, because it's very hard to get around both of them. So my tips for this boss fight is nothing really too difficult. Obviously, the infinite rocket launcher makes a lot of these boss fights very, very easy. There's only a few that you have to do a few extra things on in order to be able to get around, just because, you know, there's multiple stages to that fight or something like that. But here, this one's pretty easy. Essentially, all you have to do is, as soon as it starts, hit him once, and then aim at his feet, and then continue to hit his feet until he goes down, because he will dodge some of your strikes with the rocket. Therefore, you do need to make sure that you're aiming lower so that he doesn't have the ability to dodge. So therefore, it takes more rockets to actually take him down, because splash damage isn't as much as straight on hit type of damage.
All right.
There's the first shot straight on, and then we kind of aim a little bit more towards the feet. Once he goes down, then you can pretty much hit him the rest of the time, and then you should be good to go after that.
Still kicking?
Once he gets down like that, then you know the boss fight is complete, and we're going to move on. This next section just has a bunch of Crimson Head enemies and regular enemies, so just clear the path that is in your kind of direct route in order to get to the weapons shop. Once you grab this key, we're going to head back out the same door we came in, and there's going to be a little alley straight over here to the right that you will take. I don't believe you need to take out this first kind of dead zombie here. I don't believe they're going to wake up in time or anything like that for you to actually get hit. But I do it anyways just because I like to be safe. But there's going to be another Crimson Head that will come right there, and then there'll be a Crimson Head inside the house. I realize that they might not be called Crimson Heads. I don't really know. I'm not an expert in the Resident Evil lore. Although I've played all the games, but that's why I'm kind of replaying them again so I can get familiar with everything. Alright, so here we got like kind of a boss fight slash run. So immediately turn around and shoot him dead on. Try to be as accurate as you can because doing this strategy can get you killed really quickly. But it's the best way so you don't have to dodge all of his attacks because he'll essentially throw rockets at you, and of course that can take you out very quickly. So if you don't have to have rockets thrown at you at this point, then it's just going to make it easier for you to get through quicker. Sorry if my voice is a little weird, but I'm still a little under the weather. You know, just sixth season going around all the time. As soon as the cutscene stops, aim right at him and shoot, and you should do the same thing and not have to worry about dodging his attacks up till you get to the cutscene. Here, we're just going to move forward. Now, I will say this. It is very, very easy to die at this next section. What you're going to do is you're going to go up a set of stairs. There's going to be a cutscene that plays. As soon as you skip the cutscene, you need to immediately turn around as quickly as possible and run down the stairs and then move out of the way. You can be killed by the giant head very quickly because it actually, if you've done this on, say, standard or hardcore, it doesn't come at you as fast and you got a little bit more time. Here, however, you don't. So immediately turn around and then move. Get out of there as quickly as possible. Run. Do not stop. You stop once, you're dead. You could literally see the ball right behind me there. That's, yeah, I mean, I got lucky, honestly, because I really felt that could have ended my run there because, you know, I haven't saved since that very first save we done back where the spiders are. Here, just keep firing at him until he goes down a little bit. Once you get to a certain point, he won't come after you anymore because it's scripted for him to appear somewhere else. Well, there you go. We are done with the I guess you could say the entire kind of city area of Resident Evil. This is scripted here, so don't worry about that. You can only move as fast as him through here, of course. And then he's got to open a gate for you, therefore you don't really need to rush too much.
Carlos, I know we didn't get
But once we take over, we're going to be Carlos in the RPD section,
Saved my ass first.
which is a fairly easy location to do, especially with the rocket launcher, so you shouldn't have to worry too much.
What matters is that we can get everyone out of the city now.
Yeah. You'll be safe.
What about you?
From the sound of it, I won't be catching the train.
Why not?
No, there'll be new orders. If it means I can help save the city, it's fine by me.
All right, so now we've got the RPD.
Keep your head screwed on, Romeo.
We're starting out here in front of the building. All we're going to need to do is take out Brad. You've got plenty of assault rifle ammunition from the very, very start after this cutscene. Take him out as quickly as possible. You'll have 2 encounters with Brad on Inferno mode. This is your first one, so you actually don't take him out completely here. But once he's down and doesn't get up, you're good to go. You just have to wait now for your partner to open the door. All right, so we have a little section here where you're going to need to re-equip everything because you got to remember you're now playing as Carlos. Carlos does not have any of your items equipped, so go into here, take them all out, and then grab whatever it is you feel that you need. You really don't need a lot of stuff. Most enemies will all be taken out with the rocket launcher, so you really don't even need the coins, but you know, it's just a safety measure to make sure that every shot that you do does a max amount of damage, and if we do get hit, that it's not like devastating to us and stuff like that. So you just get a lot of coins and whatnot.
If our intel's still worth a damn, then Bard's in the STARS office.
Here you're going to have to wait until he is done with his spiel. There's no way to skip this. It's an in-game cutscene, so it's something that has to happen.
Carlos, take a look at this. I've located the STARS office. Remember, Bard had access to Umbrella's darkest secrets. He knows we'll try to keep him under our thumbs.
So this search and rescue mission is really more like find and detain. Right. Good to know.
I'll open the shutter so you can get through.
You stay here and find out what's been going on here at the station.
Call you if I find anything. Hey! Be careful.
Yeah. You too.
So if you've played Resident Evil 2, the remake, then you should be familiar with this area pretty much. And I definitely highly recommend you play Resident Evil 2 before you play this game,
What was that thing?
as they do kind of go on at the same time. Now, shooting inside, through these things, you don't have to do this, as it will not be able to damage them, and in no way will, really doesn't matter. Just keep moving forward. The difference on Inferno between the other modes here is that there's going to be a hunter that will actually go through the door here instead of a normal enemy, and then wait for him to be there. You should be good to go. Now, I do actually get bit here because there's an enemy that comes out of the door on the right, so just be careful. And I totally forgot about that enemy because I take them all out pretty much right here that's out in the hallway. And there's usually an enemy on the left side or whatever, at least in the other versions. But you can see he came out there and I didn't really realize it in time. So after you do the first initial barrage, then immediately make sure that you do another rocket towards that door, and then you will be okay. But because of the defense coins and everything that we have equipped, as you can see, we're fine, and you don't have to worry about any of that. Really, like I said, the only time that you're really in danger with the rocket launcher is when you're at the final boss fight. So once we pick up the key from the 3rd floor, we're going to head all the way back down to that main area where we took out all those people. And then we're going to head into the storage room and grab the battery for the bomb. I always wondered why there's a bomb here. There's also a hunter right there. Now, on the other difficulties, the hunter will there's 2 hunters here on this difficulty, whereas the other ones, there'll just be 1, and that's the one that you just saw there. So just remember, on Inferno, there's one that comes from the side as well. And for whatever reason, I thought there was going to be an enemy there, but no, the enemy is there on the other playthroughs. So sometimes I get the different difficulties mixed up. So I do like that. Obviously, I think harder difficulties should change things up a little different. This is what's different as well, as Brad is here trying to open the door here. So just take him out. That doesn't happen on other difficulties. And here you will not have a body drop or anything like that, so you're good to go. You can continue. And everything else at this point is pretty much the same from every other one, except we have some new enemies. You've never seen these enemies up to this point in the normal part of the story. These are the enemies that essentially, really, I don't think they can die. You can only just take them out for a certain amount of time. So use your bomb here, do everything else like you normally would do. Do about 2 rockets just to make sure they're all taken care of.
One at a time. Take a number.
Wait for this enemy to come out, but this is not going to be a normal enemy. Once you've done that, you can go through and then just know there's another hunter you can take out immediately. Just 1 shot's all it takes, and then yeah, you can take those out. Those are crimson heads with those enemies. It's be really tough to beat.
This'll take some time.
And then just immediately exit through the door as soon as the cutscenes are over, and then we will continue with Jill.
Am I the only one who made it?
I am not 100% sure how many times you can save to still get an S ranking. I want to say it's like 5 or under, but I'm only going to be doing 3 saves in this entire thing. So if you save when I do, you should be okay. Just remember that there are no auto saves when you're doing Inferno. Therefore, you will go back to the last save you did. Make sure you fire there, and then that should get rid of all the enemies that come out from the sides. So the last save we still have right now is the spider save. So you would go all the way back to that point if you have died up to this section. But we will be able to save as soon as we get to the hospital, which is coming right up.
I can't stay here.
So my 3 locations are the spiders, hospital, and the final boss. That's the 3 saves that I do in mine. Again, I'm pretty sure you can get to 5, but don't quote me on that. This next boss fight is one of the easiest with the rocket launcher. Just aim at him and continue to aim. It shouldn't take very many shots, and he'll be done.
Carlos, you still there?
You won't be able to move forward just yet until this conversation is done and a few seconds have elapsed. But once you're able to, you will continue off now with Carlos in the hospital, and this is where I'm going to save.
Be okay.
All right, so the hospital section could be done rather quickly, especially if you know what you're doing. It could take a very long time if you don't know what you're doing. There's going to be a hunter here. That's really all you have to worry about, but I like to do a second shot just in case. Or I guess you could, not a hunter, but a licker. I don't know why I call them hunters, because you're going to deal with hunters here in a few, but that was a licker there. All of this up to this point is the same. You don't need to waste your inventory space by picking up the cassette player until you have the cassette. You got these enemies here just like normal. Head up the stairs. Be scared by that right there. I always thought that on the harder difficulty that enemy that dropped would actually be alive this time instead, but that's not the case. Shoot one right here, that you'll take care of him so he doesn't wake up later. You'll actually deal with the hunters before you would in a normal playthrough, because usually what happens is you get to a certain point, you go through a cutscene, and then it introduces the hunter, and then that's when you'll start dealing with him. However, on Inferno, you're going to deal with him before the cutscene. If you choose to move too far ahead. So once you come back up here after you've got the key, if you go straight, a hunter is going to come out, so you can take him out already, and you won't be surprised later on. So normally you're going to take a left here if you want to continue the story, but just move straight here, take this hunter out first. And then I like to take the hunter out that's in here right now since I'm already moving straight. There's a hunter right there across the other side. Now we go back into that room. There is a few enemies here that are inside the room. So fire once here, and then when you make the turn, fire again. Once you get here, stick to the left. Make sure you grab the left one. If you do the one that's just to the right, then a dead body will come out. It won't hurt you or anything. It's just more of a jump scare. This is where the hunters are usually properly introduced. So as soon as the cutscene is over, immediately aim and fire. Now you won't have to worry about the hunter that comes out of the room there, and you won't have to worry about the hunter inside the bigger room. There are still enemies inside this room that will open the door eventually, but you don't need to come back through here, so you can just keep going. Head to the right. You can see the hunter there. Or that's a licker, sorry. Not a hunter, but a licker there. We got 2 hunters right here. There'll be a... I don't know what you call those enemies, honestly. But that's different, obviously, from the other difficulties. There won't be any enemies inside this room there. And just immediately aim down. Sometimes you can get 2 of them with 1 shot like I did there, but I always fire a second shot just in case. Remember, this is a speed run, so the purpose of a speed run is to try to do these missions as fast as possible. Now, when you add a speedrun walkthrough, then your mission is still to do a speed run but I'm walking you through how to do that speed run, which is why there's commentary here and everything like that. If I was doing just say an Inferno walkthrough, I don't know if I would necessarily do a speed run walkthrough kind of with normal weapons, I guess you could say. I mean, yeah. I mean, I wonder how quick I could actually do it, but I'm just trying to get the fastest time I possibly can. And so that's why, since I'm going for a true, in all of its essence, speed run, which is fastest time that I could get. Obviously, there's going to be many people that do significantly better than myself. Now, what we just did there essentially was just combine the cassette with the cassette player, and that's how you get that. So it's all self-explanatory. Most of this you really don't need commentary for, is the video really walks you through everything you need to do. My commentary here is just essentially to ease you into those sections and let you know what's coming kind of beforehand so you can get ready for it. But that's why it's always a little different. You know, some walkthroughs don't really require commentary because everything is really just shown in perfectness on the screen, and you just rinse and repeat. Other times when you have games that require boss fights, like we got a hunter that comes out right there, so make sure you shoot him. Other times you have things like boss fights and stuff where you do need some commentary a little bit to explain, you know, here's the timing patterns, here's what you need to figure out, which is why I love to do commentary myself, because I want you to be able to understand. People come from different countries and whatnot, so I try to make my English as easy to understand as possible, but I also want you to be able to follow the video if you can't understand what I'm saying particularly. And also, if you do want a non-commentary version, again, let me know in the comments. I know this game is really, really old, and there's, you know, probably not going to be a lot of people watching this at this point because of how old the game is, but I'm just happy to finally say that I was able to get the platinum in Resident Evil 3, and I think that's a pretty cool thing. My first Resident Evil platinum, essentially, because I've never tried to platinum a Resident Evil game before. I've done walkthroughs on all the Resident Evil games, showing you how to get collectibles, showing you how to get all that stuff, but when it comes to 100%, or getting a platinum, should I say, then this is my first attempt at it, and I was very pleased with it and had a good time. That's why I chose Resident Evil 3 as the first one to tackle. Here, it's, you know, it's a huge kind of fight over and over again. What I like to do is wait till they kind of come out a little bit. You can, yes, technically you can take some of them out before they even get to that point. You're going to see all kinds of enemies in the background. They just stand there constantly. They don't actually move. What happens is there's a few enemies that will spawn in every few seconds. Then they'll move to their windows, and then they'll go through. But you'll always see enemies kind of behind. And yeah, so don't think you have to take out those enemies that you see behind there. So what's going to happen is two different things during this. One, you want to make sure that you pick up the bomb or the timer, so you're ready to go as soon as the final section happens. What's going to happen here in just a little bit is essentially, don't forget, I hope you're counting, there's going to be a hunter or the lights are going to turn off, and then about 10 seconds after that, there will be a hunter that will come through the door behind you. So you just want to make sure that once the lights go out, 10 seconds after that, that hunter's going to be coming through the door. Shoot the hunter as soon as it does, and then you can press the button if you want to. I don't even think you really need to press the button. I might be wrong on that, but or maybe you have to press the button in order for the shutters to go down, but I don't think that's the case, because I remember I did not press the button here, and the shutters were still going down. So I don't know if you have to do the button to turn the lights back on, but all right. So now once you start to hear the hunter come out, take them out as quickly as possible. Now when that door opens, you can go inside and turn on the power. But I totally forget to do that here. You can see you can't really take anybody else out there. They're just kind of like, they have plot armor, the ones in the back there, just to make you think there's a lot of them coming at you. So this is, again, just me being an idiot and not taking it out here and then not realizing that some of these enemies can turn into the Crimson Head ones. And if they do, they can get you from a little farther away. But you can see the shutters are still coming down, even though I haven't flipped the switch. So I, for one, am not 100% sure that you have to flip the switch or not in that room. But in that room also there is a bunch of hand grenades, flash grenades, which are solely needed. Because you need the hand grenades to take out the hunters quickly. And there's going to be a second hunter that comes down when that shutter hits halfway through the window. He'll come through that window right there. And about now is when I think I start to realize, wait a second, I didn't go into the room, did I? Just takes me a little time. Once you do that, though, once you turn this power on, an enemy will drop, so just do another one there. And now we're just waiting until it hits about halfway. Then there'll be a hunter that'll come through. Just shoot it immediately. And that's about it for stage 2. Depending on how many you've taken out, there might still be a few stragglers left to shoot before the window goes all the way down. But once it goes all the way down, you'll have a cutscene. And then after that cutscene, you'll be spawned with a bunch of enemies right in front of you. So just rocket them to the face. Go over here as quickly as possible and place the C4, or the timer. And then just wait the 30 seconds that is required. And just keep constantly shooting at this area here. So what happens is there's a bunch of enemies there that can't take any damage. They're just standing there. And then on the sides, left and right, enemies spawn up. And then that's how they just continue to come through 2 at a time. Some of them might be Crimson Heads. Some of them might be regular enemies. You just keep firing and no one will ever come through, and just wait till the timer goes down. And then you have completed, essentially, the hospital. Now we're going to take over as Jill. You don't need to go through the hospital here if you have the rocket launcher. If you don't, then you might want to go through just to get the Lady Hawk. If you didn't, grab the Lady Hawk at the very beginning of the game. But head to this door on the right here. And then we're going to head into the warehouse area before the entrance of the nest. One thing that does change here is there's one enemy in the tunnel area right here past this door. That's not here on other difficulties. Other than that, we're going to head over to the warehouse area, and then we have the section where we need to do it in 5 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of explain to you where the enemies come out and what's changed in this next section up ahead. Really, there's not much of a difference, except the dogs do not come out after you grab the first fuse. Now you have a, whatever you call those big creatures that we had in the sewers. They're now inside those like containers. So you just have to shoot them, and you can do that before you even head down the ladder. So you don't have to worry about those dogs anymore and the dodging and stuff like that, which is really nice. The other thing that is different is that once you are trying to grab the, I believe it's the second fuse. When you're trying to grab the second fuse, that is when the little thing comes down. And then you would think there'd be a bunch of enemies there, but there's no enemies there. And then when you come back to try to get on the ladder, there is that huge enemy again, but they've added 2 dogs there. So the dogs have just been placed in a different location, and it's really not that much of a bother. You can go ahead and turn around right here and shoot. That way you don't have to do it on the way back. Shooting these enemies right here will do nothing to them just yet. They're scripted not to wake up until you come back through here at the end.
I must admit, I respect your tenacity.
So if you do the exact route that I do and everything that I do, you're going to be able to also get the achievement or trophy for completing this fuse section in under 5 minutes. So even though I did save, obviously, in 2 parts outside of the last boss fight, this is essentially one run that I've went through. So that's where you want to shoot. You didn't have to do that before. But there's a new creature in there, and this is where the 2 dogs would come out, but they don't on Inferno.
No, wait.
So either you can take that down and then go back up, but I think it's a little bit quicker just to take the stairs route and then go around. If you go through that door there, you can get to the 3rd fuse, but this is where the second one is coming over here. And as I said before, once you go down the ladder and you head towards the fuse, there will be no enemies. It still is a scary thing because the thing drops down. However, no enemies come out, so they're trying to just kind of keep you on your toes, right? Because you've probably played this game so many times up to this point. Therefore, you're thinking, okay, there's going to be enemies coming out, but no, there's nobody there. And so you're like, all right, what are they going to throw at me next when this one comes down? And it's just 2 extra dogs. You might still be able to get to the ladder before they even get you. Now head back to that door right there, straight ahead. Once you do, there's the same amount of enemies that were in there before, and you just shoot a rocket in between them all, and you should take them all out, and then we're going to head to the next fuse area, which is on the left. So they've misplaced the hunter, or they've moved him. The hunter will no longer be coming at you right now. As soon as you grab the fuse and turn around, that's when the hunter is going to be coming at you from the back area. So make sure you shoot as quickly as possible, as you can see. Be ready because that hunter really moves fast, and it can be difficult to land a normal straight-up shot on the hunter itself. So if I were you, I'd actually aim more to the right side as soon as you grab that fuse. Also, make sure that you shoot here, because the enemies will wake up, and they'll I think all of them will be Crimson Heads. But you wanted to make sure that you had 3 slots open, so that's why we discarded one of the items, since we haven't been into an item box in forever. But you should have enough, really, to have the fuses in there. Alright, so we've completed the second section of the game, if you want to call that the hospital / warehouse section. Now we're going to move on to the final section, which is the nest. The nest is honestly one of the easier sections to get through, especially if you know what you're doing. It can be a little intimidating because you're going to deal with a lot more tougher enemies, but the enemies with the rockets can still be taken down in one shot.
Sure you don't need to stop?
Stop and do what? I got your back.
All right, let's get this done.
All right, once this cutscene ends, we're going to move through the nest. We're not going to save or anything here. We're not going to save again until right before the boss fight. So right now, if we were to die, then we would start back up at the beginning of the hospital. One of the difference there is that guy will wake up immediately, and you'll have that enemy in front of you here. So 2 rockets, all that's done, you're good to go. Nobody wakes up in here. Grabbing the USB so we can head into the section that has the 2 vials we need. There's actually less enemies, less difficult enemies in this room up ahead once we use the USB. There's like, I don't know why I want to call them degenerators, but because I really don't know what these enemies are actually called. But just shoot one down here. Sometimes you'll do enough damage to take the one out there, and then there's one right there, and then that's essentially it in this room. There is a few enemies in there, so make sure you shoot one there. Grab the first vial. In order to complete this puzzle, you will need to mix them together before you put it into the system. Here, there will be an enemy to your right. It's going to be one of those degenerator type of enemies. There is no longer a zombie waiting for you on the opposite side here when you're turning the power on.
This must be what powers it.
This is what I like to call the hallway of death, but the hallway of death does not open up until you're on your way back. Normally there's 2 hunters that come out of this hallway, but now there's going to be 3 or 4, I think. And this can be one of the more scary normal parts in the game, only because they can come at you super quick. Fire as soon as you see this come out, and then do another one inside. But as you can see, it didn't go all the way through, so I'm just going to do another one just to be safe. Grab the second vial. Now we need to head back to that first room where we picked up the key, the USB key. So what you're going to do in this room down here is you're going to move forward from the right side. When you see one of the hunters come out directly at you, shoot it right in front of you, then shoot another one right in front of you. Hopefully it'll take out the second hunter that is in front or behind him. You can see that one comes out there. As you can see, it just totally passed him because I guess they have some invisibility frames. Turn around, you'll see there's more there. One on the right there. It's coming at you really fast, and there's another one coming too. So luckily we're able to get some good shots in there. I think there might still... It looks like there's 4. I'm seeing 4 there, I think. Although it looked like we only saw 3. There was 2 of them on the same spot. One of them behind you and the other one on the opposite side. That's it for... I want to say normal enemies. I don't think you really deal with another normal enemy for the rest of the game. Just got 2 big boss fights. First boss fight's the easiest boss fight in the game.
To begin vaccine synthesis.
This is where you're going to want to mix the 2 vials together to create the vaccine. And then you have a little puzzle that you need to do. I think it's the same, just mid and high. Definitely less puzzles in Resident Evil 3 than there was in 2. Once you get this, you'll have a cutscene that's going to play. You'll start here, and you need to escape. So just enter here. We'll have a QuickTime event where you literally just press forward. Probably one of the hardest QuickTime events in the game, in my opinion. Because if you just let go and not press forward, it'll take a few seconds without pressing forward. You might die. So be very careful here. Alright, so you can see we got a save point location right here if you want to use that one instead. It's up to you. But we go right into this room. This is a very easy boss fight. You just want to aim and shoot. And just rinse and repeat. There's 2 phases to this, so the first one will be done in like 2 or 3 shots. Don't let them come at you. Quickly get a shot in as soon as that cutscene's over. That one will happen, and then immediately do the same thing. And just keep firing at him. He won't even get to his second stage where he goes around the room, and there you go. Now, all we have is the final boss fight. This one's a little bit more difficult. You've got to learn when to dodge. You cannot get through this without learning the proper dodge. So we're going to save here. If you have the field manual that helps you with dodges, that makes the like kind of the area of the dodge spread it out or whatever. But immediately when it starts, turn around, hit the button for the ray gun, whatever you want to call it, the rail gun, I guess. And then you can't skip that, but here you can go ahead and press R2 or RT. Then you can skip that one. Now, he can do different things depending on what you do. I can't really tell you which one he's going to do, but if he does this one, you're going to wait till like the 5th one, then dodge at the end there, and then try to knock these things down as quick as you can. You can try to dodge those. I really don't know exactly how to get around the gas stuff, but he does a few different moves where he does stomps. You can easily get stun locked. And if you're going for the fastest time and you do die, make sure you quit the game, click up story, load your last save. Do not continue or load the game from inside the game, because that adds on to your game timer. So he'll do these hits here, he'll delay the second one, and then he'll immediately do the third one, so be very, very careful with that one. And then just try to dodge those as much as you can. Of course, I'm doing this without the field manual, so it's a little bit more difficult, but hopefully you'll be able to get through it. Now, the next section here is when you go over to the other side. He's still got those same types of moves. Just depends on what he's going to do. Sometimes he'll hit you with 2 from the outside, and you got to dodge it at the right time. Like the right there, just wait till he does the final one, but I didn't time it right. But because we have, those coins, that helps us a little bit. And then just, even though I took 2 hits there, as you can see, we still got enough health, and then we regenerate a little bit to get outside of danger. But once you grab that and you get the third one, immediately just make a beeline towards the railgun, and you should be able to get there before he hits you. Just spam that X. Hit RT, and then you're going to do a little quick time event where you got to move forward and then hit RT again, and then guess what? You've technically just about beat the game. Final boss complete. That one will take you quite a few times. It's hard for me to give you a strategy. It's all about learning his moves and then knowing when to dodge. Once you're able to do that, you will get through it. I was able to get through it. I didn't look up any playthroughs on it, so I was happy with what I did. It took me a few times, probably about 7 or 8, before I realized just the correct timing for when you need to dodge, because when those arms come at you at a very slow pace, it's really hard to anticipate, and it's usually you always want to dodge later than you think, and that obviously creates problems on its own, but that's what you want to look at. Dodge later than you think. Like, I mean, literally right when it's about to hit you. Don't dodge too soon. Dodge right when it's about to hit you, and then you should be good. Last section up here on the rooftop, all you have to make sure that you do is shoot Nikolai. You can shoot him in the chest. Don't worry about going for a headshot or anything like that. We just get a magic handgun here. And then you will have completed Resident Evil 3 on Inferno. And I was also able to complete this game under an hour. So for me, my first Inferno speedrun, I was pretty happy with the results here. There we go. We got Dominator, Inferno, 59 minutes, 42 seconds, saved 3 times, and we got the S ranking. So we're going to get a bunch of trophies here for Inferno, as well as Jill getting the S rank on Inferno. We're also going to get Conqueror, which is doing it from Nightmare or higher. And then So Long RC, Platinum unlocked. So we'll go over all the trophies here, as you can see. Really enjoyed the game. I hope you guys enjoyed all the live streams that we did leading up to the Platinum, even though I decided to do one final video for the Platinum itself in video walkthrough format. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Support the channel any way you can. Of course, it's always your option. If you do want to donate, that just helps pay the bills and keep the channel going. And I want to bring back walkthroughs again like we used to. So I hope you guys enjoy videos like this. So make sure you comment below. And of course, I will see you on the next one. Peace out. Bitches. Meow.